Hello everyone and welcome back to the Coaching Masters channel. In this video, we're going to dive into a video that I like to call breaking away from that 9-to-5 so that you can enjoy your path to freedom, because that really is what it is and what it's been like for me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my own journey as well as show you the key differences of what it looks like working in a 9-to-5 versus what it looks like having your own freedom-based business, so that you can see the differences and see which one is going to work for you best, because the thing is, we are all different. I know people that love working in their 9-to-5 because one, maybe they are actually really enjoying what they're doing. There are some really cool jobs out there. They like the fact that they don't have to make their own money and they can just have it, kind of be given to them, right? It's not their own money. They can just go and play around with somebody else's money. So it's not going to be like a big 9-to-5 bashing fest, Even though it's not right for me, I still want to kind of present them in a fair way so that you can really see, okay, what does it look like working in a 9-to-5 and what does it look like to have your own freedom-based business? And then you can decide for yourself which one you like best and see, which one is right for you. Because that's the biggest thing, is I just don't think that we were informed. Like, I look at my own life and I was never informed of what it looked like to have a freedom-based business. I didn't know what that involved. No one told me anything about it in school. It was just like, oh yeah, you go and you get a job and that's it. And I used to fantasize about what it would be like to work in an office, right? I just think they make it look so cool on TV. I was like, oh yeah, pencil skirts and high heels. And I was like, it looks amazing. And then you work in it and you're like, oh yeah, this isn't everything that I had imagined it to be. So anyways, I will tell you more about that, but I do want to just show you, what a 9-to-5 looks like, what a freedom-based business looks like. And like I said, then you have both of them and you can see which one is right for you. So first, I'm going to talk about what it's like to work in that 9-to-5 space. So a 9-to-5 may be you if you like working with more people because you have a bigger team. If you don't like to manage yourself, and if you feel like you're not good in charge of your time, you're not good at creating tasks for yourself to do, anything like that, and you like to be managed, then employee lifestyle is better for you. Your personal growth is very linear or laddered. So it's like, you work your way up the ladder. It's those small steps that get you to where you want to go. And for some people, they really thrive in that. So that could also be where it is really good for you. There is very low risk involved because it's, like I said, it's somebody else's money. So if you want to go and do things, maybe you have a company credit card, you can design a space or, do the things that you want to do with somebody else's money so you don't have to hold that risk. Maybe you need it for health insurance, or it gives you nice benefits like gym membership or wellness expense or something like that. Or again, like I said, you have the company card and you can take people out for drinks if you've got that kind of job, if you're an account manager or something like that. There are definitely some things that could be quite fun and that some people really enjoy in their 9-to-5s. And so if those things resonate with you, then absolutely do that. But I do know for myself that there were quite a few drawbacks, and some of these drawbacks that I can think of from myself, my own experiences, or from people that I've coached and they have told me, is that a really big one is that they tend to feel quite unfulfilled. A lot of the jobs that people are just doing, they do because it makes them money, and they kind of followed this path and now they're there, but they just don't really enjoy what they're doing and they feel unfulfilled. It's repetitive, it's boring, they don't feel like they're growing that much, and they just feel a bit restricted. One of the ways that a 9-to-5 may not be so good is it lacks flexibility. So you are in there from 9 until 5 a lot of the time because those are your working hours, and it doesn't matter how much work you have. Maybe you've got a lot of work, but I know that I've talked to quite a few people that are honestly just filling the time. And there's been some talk about the 4-day working week and how that is actually more productive because people will do the same amount of work in those 4 days than in 5 days, except in those 4 days, it's really productive work, and in 5 days they kind of like draw it out, and so that they just make sure that they have time where they are still consistently doing things, you know. And I know this for myself. Sometimes there's those days where you're just kind of doing the motions and not maybe putting the most of it in. You're not being that productive. You're just kind of teetering along because you know that you still have 4 hours to go and maybe you only have 2 hours of work left. So you just draw it out, and there's just so much wasted time. Another annoying thing is that a lot of the time you need to be physically there. So obviously nowadays there are jobs that are a lot more flexible, and sometimes you have days at home and sometimes you have days in the office. But a lot of those you still need to be probably in the city, in the country. So you can't really still travel around like you could in maybe like a nomadic job, one that really allows for that freedom. And if you're obviously in the office, then you have to be working in the office, and that can be a bit dull to do it every single day, all day. One thing that was a huge drawback for me was the lack of autonomy. And in a company and organization, people normally have very little control over the decision making and the actual work assignment. And this can really have an impact on your own creativity and growth because you are just stuck really getting permissions. And I've seen this in past organizations that I've worked for where I've had a manager that is really creative, has all of these ideas that would be so fun to do, and yet they get stopped at a higher level, and all of these great things that we could be doing just get denied for one reason or another. And that can just be really frustrating to work for when you feel like you just don't have that freedom to really create the things that you want to create. In a 9-to-5, there is also a lack of that, you know, really good work-life balance. Again, if you have to be somewhere for 8 hours a day, that is a lot of day. If we're sleeping 8 hours and we are working 8 hours, we've got, that's 16 hours, and you only then have 8 hours left to enjoy. But then remember, we have commutes to work, we have dinner to be making, if you got a family, taking care of the family. It just, all of that time suddenly dwindles and dwindles and dwindles, especially if you're in an organization where you work a 9-to-5, but you actually are working, 8 to 7 or something like this. So this just means that you have less time for yourself, for your loved ones, and just don't have that chance to really enjoy life. And nobody wants to be slaving away to their job all the time, every single day. Living is so important, I think, now more than ever, and there's so much opportunity for us to live and not slave our lives away, that work-life balance just becomes increasingly important. And this is going to look different for everyone. My work-life balance is going to look differently to yours, but it just means that we have that schedule that we can create for ourselves. And I love having my free time. I love being able to rearrange my schedule, and so that work-life balance is so important for me. And that's just something that I especially found that I didn't have working in a 9-to-5. I had touched on this earlier, but there is a huge lack of purpose and passion. I know when I was working in an office job, I had no purpose there. It was quite a heavily admin related role, and it was just me going through the motions every single day. I had no passion. I felt like I had no purpose, and I just really craved that. I wanted to be doing something that I deemed valuable, that really gave me the motivation to want to wake up every day and live my best life. And that's just not how I felt working in an organization at all. So in 9-to-5s, there also is a lack of growth, a limited amount of growth that you can take. A lot of times I hear, people have worked their way up the ladder potentially to a certain point, but eventually you're going to be stuck. Eventually that growth just stops because there are continuously people above you and ahead of you. And so there is what seems like growth, but it is very rare that you can continue that growth. And eventually that is just going to plateau, where then you feel like you need another job, another role, and you may be looking outside of the organization for something different, just so that you can fuel that growth and don't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're not learning anything anymore and you're just doing that same thing every day that just makes life a bit boring. Now, a couple other downsides for working in a 9-to-5 is the commute. A lot of people have ridiculously long commutes. Traffic is crappy, and I know that it just feels so nice to not have to commute to work every day, where if I want to, mosey my way onto a little cafe, I can do that. And if I want to just work at home, I can do that. It makes my life enjoyable that I just don't have to go anywhere where there are massive amounts of cars and people every single day, because it's just long and you waste so much time on those commutes. I know that I worked in a few where things have taken me like an hour, and I tried to make the most of it as best I could, with podcasts and things that would help me to learn and grow, but not having to do the commutes is even better. And finally, depending on what your job is, if you are in an office job, obviously there are health implications as well, because that sedentary lifestyle is no good for anybody. It just decreases our fitness levels, making us to gain weight and create all of these different lifestyle illnesses that could probably be prevented if we were a lot more active as a society. And also we have to think of the levels of stress, pressure that create burnout, which is also a huge health implication that a lot of people have when they are working in these corporate style jobs. Now, like I said, I'm just going to share a really quick story about myself, and because I was there, I did the 9-to-5, I graduated university, and I was like, right, get me in that office, get me in those cute heels and pencil skirts. And I got there and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just not the one. It was so boring going into the same job every single day, doing the same thing every single day. Oh, it just gets a bit soul destroying. And, I liked the people I worked with. I felt really fortunate. I had an incredible boss. So I was really lucky in those ways, whereas, I can't even imagine going to work and not enjoying my boss. I just think that would be so hard. So luckily I worked with good people, but still, it just doesn't outweigh the cons for me of having to just do that every single day. I am someone that thrives off change and likes to do something different every day and likes to live and not have to go into an office every day. I am that person that wants to be like, what do I want to do today? Do I want to work? Okay, great. I've got a few clients, but hey, maybe I take the day off. The sunshine is out. Let me make the most of this day, not let me, slave away in a cubicle looking out the outside, just wishing that I could be a part of it. And I feel like there are normally two things that I hear consistently from people that don't like their 9-to-5 jobs is one, either it's really dull, it's boring, they're not challenged enough. This was definitely the side that I was on. Or they're so busy, there's so much stress, overwhelm, pressure on themselves that they burn themselves out. So although I wasn't burning myself out, it was just so dull at the end of the day. And I just needed something that was going to fulfill me, that was going to give me that purpose that I was desperately searching for that I didn't have, because I just felt like I was so much more than that job. I felt like I had so much more to give than just entering in information into a computer. And if you are on the other side where you are consistently burnt out, then that is not somewhere where you want to be either. I know I worked with people who have joined the coaching masters who were in that space of just being completely burnt out and needing to get away from that lifestyle, who then joined the coaching masters to become coaches and just enjoy that time so much more to escape the burnout, because it just completely strips you of your joy and of your happiness. And they tell me that it is the best thing that they could have done was starting their own businesses so that they could not have to ever go through that level of burnout ever again. Now, I want to dive into some of the benefits of having your own freedom-based business. And again, so that you can see that kind of comparison, and just so that you can again get a sense of what it looks like if you were to start a freedom-based business versus being in a 9-to-5 job. The opposite of being that freedom-based business is you are your business. So this means that you don't have a team. It is just you, especially in the beginning. Now, there has never been a better time for this because with these AI technologies, we have almost a virtual assistant at our fingertips, which gives us a little piece of that team, but it still means that a lot of the work that you're doing is solo work. And if you're not good at just working by yourself all the time, if you need those connections, then it's important for you to maybe find spaces like co-working and other things so that it doesn't feel so lonely, because that can definitely be something that comes along with having your own freedom-based business. Now, you are also going to be your own manager. So you are the person that is creating the tasks, setting the goals, taking the action. And so it's important for you to be self-disciplined in order to really make these things happen and to create a business that is going to thrive and give you financial income so that you can, do the things that you want to do, or the reason that you got into this type of work in the first place. Now, in a business, you can have a higher impact because it is you. You have control over the amount of impact that you go and you create in the world. There is obviously a higher risk involved because you need to be the one that is making money. Anything that you're doing is bought with your own money. So if you're making investments, it is all from your own finances, the things that you're buying, healthcare expenses, wellness, anything like that is now off of your own card instead of using the company's. Also, your schedule is probably going to look different every day. So some days you may be working really long hours, some days you may be working only a few hours, and none of your finances are potentially going to look the same either. So this was something I actually forgot to mention before, but you get that set amount that you're earning each week, each month as a employee. And when it's your own business, your income is going to look different month per month. So you're never going to have that set amount. And some months you may make a lot, some months you may make nothing. So it's being comfortable with that process, but also it just means that your financial potential is uncapped versus where you are set with that employee amount that you make every single month in that paycheck that is going to look almost the same every single time, and maybe you get a little raise. But here you have uncapped financial potential. And if you don't know, you're about to know that it is really possible to make a lot of money as an entrepreneur than versus being an employee somewhere. Again, some of the benefits of having a freedom-based lifestyle, and a lot of these are kind of just those opposites to the first one, is that you have a lot of flexibility. So now you don't have to work from the office. You can create your own hours. Like I said, some may be really long, but if you want to go outside and play in the sun, you have the potential to do that as well. So you truly have the potential and the control to decide where you work and when you work. And you can build this around your personal commitments and your family so that it really works better for you and your lifestyle. You can have location independence, so you can work from anywhere in the world. Right now, I am back in London, but I will be heading back to Bali in October. I just got back from Bali and I did a whole bunch of different trips this year. I did Bali, I did Malaysia, I did Singapore, Vietnam. Is that it? I can't remember now, but then little trips to like the Gili Islands, Lombok, the Gili Islands, Lombok, etc. So it just means that I can work from anywhere in the world, which means that I can go and explore the world, which is something that is so big for me, while not having to stress about getting those vacation days or anything like that. With having your own freedom-based business, you have greater autonomy, so you can make those decisions. You can have that control over what you want to be doing. Yes, we may still not love every single aspect of the business. There are still going to be things that we don't enjoy doing, but it means that we have control over when we do them. And if we don't feel like doing something just that second, we can potentially postpone it to another day. You can decide how you want to grow, the things you want to do, and you are no longer capped by the people above you because it's just you. So do what you want, create what you want. It is in your control. A freedom-based business also allows for you to have that passion and purpose. Now, this was something that was huge for me when I started my own coaching journey. It was just incredible to be able to work from anywhere in the world while helping people. I just love it, honestly. When I found coaching, my soul lit up. It was just the most incredible thing that I could have ever have wish for myself to have as a career. I feel so blessed to be doing the work I do. I love the work I do so much, and I feel really passionately and feel like I have a huge purpose because I'm able to help others to become their best selves, to be happier, to be healthier, to be empowered, to be the people that they want to be. I think that is something that's so incredible, is that my job empowers others to be the people that they want to be, to live the lives that they want to live. And to me, there's no better feeling or thing out there. So although I may be helping others, I am selfishly just making myself feel so good by being able to do this work. Now, we did touch on it, but that benefit of being able to have unlimited income potential is obviously huge. Your income is not restricted by a fixed salary and can continue to grow as you grow. You can scale your business and explore different types of ways that you can gain that income. So as a coach, you can do one-to-ones, you can do group coaching, you can build courses. And as you build those different things, so potentially maybe your one-to-ones start at $1,500, then you can just grow and grow that, because as you then bring on group coaching, you're going to make that more affordable. Maybe your group coaching all of a sudden becomes, $1,500. And your one-to-ones can then go up. And so you continuously have these different ways that you are making money and products that you offer, which just helps you to grow and expand and increase that amount of financial success that you can have. Having your own freedom-based business also allows for work-life integration. So there's more work-life balance for sure. I can live an incredible life. When I was living in Bali, it was amazing. I would wake up, I would go to the gym, I would have breakfast, I would lay in the sun all day, go to the beach, go to the pool, meet friends, and then in the evenings I would have my clients and I would work, and it was just the perfect way to live for me. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. That to me is fully living. Or if I had stuff I needed to do in the day, I can go out and enjoy the night, but I can fully tailor that to what my day looks like, what I have on that day, and just create my schedule around it. I could truly live my best day. Like when you ask yourself, what is the dream day that you want to live every day? That's why I was living in Bali. Now I'm back in London and I organize it a little bit differently. So now I work more in the day and I have more evenings free just because it aligns with, other people's schedules. Whereas in Bali, I feel like there's so many people that are digital nomads that we all just create our own schedules to fit, that going to the beach kind of lifestyle. But here I make it a bit differently, but to be able to have that is so important to me, so that again, still I can work around, my schedule and the people that I want to see, the things I want to do, and just create it so that I do have really, really nice work-life balance. Now, work-life integration is amazing as well, because I love to travel and I can put that into my content. I can put that into this way of life, this program that I'm selling. So my life also can then be sold for business reasons as well. So I love that I can integrate work with other aspects of my life. Now, for me, there is no comparison, but like I said, there are benefits. There's pros and cons to both. So hopefully through this video, you can really see the difference of what is going to work for you. Now, I do want to highlight that having your own freedom-based business requires dedication, resilience, planning, strategy, all of these things. And you do need to work consistently at it. It's so funny. I was actually just having a conversation today with a friend. We were out for coffee and she's recently started her coaching business. And she was just saying, it feels really easy. And I was like, that is exactly how mine started. I felt like I was just attracting everything to me. And although I was really busy, don't get me wrong, I was really in my masculine energy. I was really, in that hustle culture of working, of basically saying no to anything that wasn't in line with my vision for my business. So I was saying no to friends. I was saying no to going out. I was saying no to fun because I felt like I needed to put everything into that business. But that business was actually so enjoyable for me. I just was creating content and doing things that I felt really passionately about, that actually a lot of the time it didn't feel like work and it felt easy. So although I was doing a lot, I was really consistent and, really on it with my content. I was just attracting people so easily to me where they were just coming instead of me having to reach out to, a lot of clients and cold DMing and things like that. And for her, she said it's the same. So it is about that consistency, but it can be enjoyable at the same time. There are definitely going to be parts that are busy, that maybe can sometimes feel hard, but you still want it to be enjoyable as well. This is your own business. This is your baby. So have it be fun. Of course, there are going to be days where you don't want to do it. That's completely normal in life. And sometimes, you may be really motivated for something, and all of a sudden that motivation can kind of dissipate and you need to remember your why and things like that. But the benefits of that greater freedom, flexibility, autonomy, and fulfillment really just make it that appealing choice for individuals that are searching for a different way of living, a different way of doing life. Let me know your thoughts and let me know which one is right for you. Are you more of a 9-to-5 person, or are you ready to dive into creating a freedom-based lifestyle for yourself? I would love to hear in the comments. Let me know either way, and I can't wait to see you in the next video very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.